Import may take a little while, but once it's done, it's going to show all of the people you imported here. Now, profiles to be created will show you can match the fields again. You've already done that. This is your preview. So it's going to show you these are the 3 people whose profiles that I'm going to be creating, because none of these 3 people existed inside our system yet. But then when I click on here, you can see we created Wes's profile earlier by itself, so it's going to show you that this profile needs to be updated. It also shows that there's 1 change to be made, and I did not list a phone number on that CSV file that I had for him, so it's saying that it's going to change his mobile phone number from this number to nothing. Now, I wouldn't necessarily want it to do that, so I'm going to click ignore all on that one because I don't want it to import him and erase his phone number, but I do want it to create these profiles. Now, there's a couple of other things that you can see on here. There's profiles to be updated, which we looked at. There's households to be created, households to be updated, then errors, and then identical. So what these 2 things would mean is inside of Planning Center, you are listed as a part of a household if you are a member of a family that goes to our church. So if you had multiple people in here with the same information, like the same address, it might lump them in as a household together. So you would just want to double check that information. Now it says I've got 2 errors here, and it's for me and Ben. Now, we are both listed as an organizational administrator inside of our Planning Center account, so it's not going to let us update this information because it would mess up the permissions that we have. Now, you shouldn't experience any of that as you're doing this with yours, because none of the people you're adding should be listed as an organization's administrator, so you don't need to worry about that. And identical would be if there was identical information created inside or in the import. So when we got rid of Wes's earlier, if his phone number had been listed in the CSV file, he would have shown up in the identical portion as an identical duplicate to a profile that had already been created, and so you wouldn't necessarily need to add him in there. So we're going to go ahead and finish import here. And once it's finished, this may take a little while because my internet is being slow today, but once it's finished, it'll just be done and those profiles will exist.